But honestly, I like this more than Yeezus. I mean, this doesn't have Bound 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our regularly scheduled list update. We'll be running through 10 albums I've listened to over the last few weeks, now that I completely forgot about whatever I was talking about over the last month. Also, speaking of whatever I was doing the last month, if you have any recommendations for albums to do deep dives on, please leave them in the comments. I haven't decided on what the next one's gonna be yet, and I would love to hear what y'all would want to hear me talk about. So, without further ado, Utopia by Travis Scott. This is honestly my favorite Travis Scott sound I've heard yet. It's a great balance of psych trap and a bit of experimental, especially with how loud a lot of this album could be. After the first listen, I thought it was alright, but I've listened to it like 7 times already, and it's now my personal favorite Travis album. Maybe it's all the Kanye-isms, maybe it's Travis doing a lot more rapping here, but I went into this long-awaited album very skeptical, and I left it feeling like he more than lived up to the hype. I know that everyone has made the Yeezus comparisons, but honestly, I like this more than Yeezus. I mean, this doesn't have Bound 2. Transhumanist Agenda by Irrational Direction. I would like to say that I announced my album release day, before Travis Scott did, and that motherfucker swooped in and stole the 28th. So my tape is finally out. All the beats were produced by me, and they are some of the best that I have made yet, ranging from soulful and jazzy to some hard-hitting bangers. I got to touch on topics of mental health, embracing femininity in all of its forms, and, of course, endless references as to how I, specifically, will fuck your bitch. I'm really proud of my starting project as a rapper. I'm only improving from here, and my little starting point honestly ain't too shabby. I don't normally do this for my quick reviews, but I highly recommend checking out the single AMAB, which y'all saw me promote the hell out of, and Cope. Both of those tracks have been my favorite for months, and I'm glad to share them with y'all finally. Purple Rain by Prince. I'd like to dedicate this portion to my father, because he told me not to start with Purple Rain when listening to Prince. I listened to Dirty Mind and For You first, and I thought they were pretty mid, in all honesty, and I still think that. So this album was Prince's last chance to really grip me here, and the hype is true. This album is one of the best fucking things I've ever heard. Vaudeville Villain by Victor Vaughn, aka MF Doom. As much as I love Doom's production on many of his other records, the weird, out-of-this-world beats from the outside producers on Vaudeville Villain make for one of Doom's best-sounding albums. Or should I say, Victor Vaughn's. It's a little heavy into the characters, but it is a great album that I'm definitely going to need a few more listens to really understand as a whole. Magic 2 by Nas. It ain't as great as the first one, but it is still Nas and Hit-Boy doing what they do together best. Definitely worth your time and at least a listen. Some Like It Hot by Win. Win continues to kick ass with a pretty good set of songs for this EP. Not really a huge fan of the ending of the project, but there is still a solid group of tunes in here and definitely worth a listen. 6 by Babytron. I don't think I'll ever be unhappy with a Babytron drop. He keeps his wordplay, flows, and beats sharp and continues to do what he does best, which is to absolutely just rap his ass off. Definitely a worthwhile listen if you are already on the Babytron wave. Probably not the best project to start for any newbies to Babytron. Imaginary Appalachia, Colter Wall. This was a pleasant little folksy country album that I really enjoyed the atmosphere of. Just a man, a guitar, and some twang carries this project really damn well. Natural Born Losers, Nicole Dollinger. You gotta be in like a mood for this album, like an existential mood. I really enjoyed it. I love all the space these tracks are given and how little of that space is actually taken up by Nicole's voice. But this is also a very bleak and dark listen. Reputation by Taylor Swift. I only listened to this album because I needed a pick-me-up from the Nicole Dollinger album, and I was sure that I wouldn't take the album with the Right Said Fred ripoff seriously. I've never actually listened to this album all the way through, but this time I decided to stick it out, only to find that yes, this album does indeed suck. There's like 2 good songs I picked out of this entire track list, but Petty Drama from 2017 doesn't really age the best. And weirdly enough, Taylor does some Kanye-isms on the album that are ironic, to say the least. I mean, we all knew this was a bad album, but you know, sometimes you just gotta go and listen to yourself to make sure. And that is it for this week. Be sure to comment what you think I should talk about on my next deep dive. Until then, I'll be back with good old regular album reviews. Be sure to stream Transhumanist Agenda on all of your devices and some of your neighbors' devices if you're a real one. And I'll see y'all for the next review. Pieces.